Right, we have something pretty cool here. Pretty cool looking, pretty interesting to play. I'm going to go through the gameplay quickly, and then I've got some critique to put that I hope rolls through. But again, this is a browser-based game where they do recommend playing the download just because it has a few more updates added to it and things like that. There is a wishlist for what I assume is a related game on Steam, so check that out. But let's jump into the game first and we'll talk about it from there onwards. Interesting way to play is a drop down. So if you want to change the settings are here, but there is a drop down and you click start. Hopefully this has successfully reset the game and will take me back to the beginning. Right, so you're met with this blank screen with a little flashy control down here. Click that and you appear to be some sort of detective or officer or something similar, and this is your kind of personal information device. I don't know if there's supposed to be a background here or not, but yeah, we always start with this black screen and an incoming transmission from Rob at the Tribune 2052. Accept the transmission, and it comes through and it's only half done, so attempt to restore, and the restore does something but it fails in the last bit. But if we click on the info, we get the text of the transmission. It says, I need help right now. I was waiting on an informant in a bar next to Bazati Lake, and oh god, they grabbed me. If you click on the Bazati Lake, it fills in that little green bar. No idea what that does, but it's some information. Maybe it unlocks other elements. They put a bag over my head and threw me in a van. We started going west, I think. And I saw us taking a right turn right next to that Caden Tower, stopping quickly after that. I'm tied to a chair. They used my ID to enter a privacy hotel. It must be because I started digging into, and oh god, no please, and then the conversation stops. So not a good series of events, but that's fine. Click onto the city map. And we see he says he was next to at a bar next to Bazati Lake. So here's Bazati Lake, and if we look at the restaurants, here is the bar, is Drogo Bar. Okay, and then he says they started going west. So from here, the west down this way, making a right turn just next to that Caden Sun, stopping quickly after that. So if we go to the sites, we see TechNet, but no Caden Tower in any of these, especially not to the west. However, there we turn to our third piece of information, which is a news broadcast. So we have Techni Industries does not have a monopoly. So the court case, that isn't looking good. The disruptive power of privacy hotels, that's where our hero has been kidnapped. And then Town Tower, the rebranding. In a bold move to reinvigorate urban identity, the iconic Caden Tower will now be known as TechNet, a name officials say is cooler, cleaner, and way more appealing to today's travelers. We click on that, adds to our thing. State spokesman Dax Minari explained the change. We know what young people want. We have their data. Not intimidating at all. And then of the Tribune, we have the editor-in-chief, Daniel Drinkwater, the compliance officer, Mark Vardy, and the field journalist, Robert Nowak. Okay, so taking back, we know that TechNet is what used to be called Caden Tower, so they turned a right there and then stopped soon afterwards. And if we look at the hotels, we have the Breach Inn Privacy Hotel. So we've collected all this information, and I kind of know what bits of information are necessary because I fought with this thing for a while. And now we submit the incident record. So the caller identity we know is Robert Nowak because he was the journalist here, field journalist. The caller location, we know that he is at the Breach Inn because that was the closest hotel from the direction. The incident location, where the incident started, and that's what I had a lot of difficulty with. I thought that was looking for the place where the incident had gone to, but it's actually where it started, and that was the Drogo Bar by the lake. And the incident classification is at this point a kidnapping, although we know he doesn't do very well at the end of it, but it's a kidnapping. Click submit, they all go green. One of them will go red if you are wrong. Robert Noack, a journalist for the Tribune, reported his own abduction via audio message. What was meant to be a meeting at the Drogo bar turned into a kidnapping. Available information suggests he is being held at the Breach Inn. Rapid response initiated. So, we hold back over there in a very dramatic full screen display. And here we are at the hotel. We are still recording, yes. Right, so we can look at the plant. It's a fake. We can't look at anything else over there or over there. We can look at the door to go up, but it can only be used when a room key is provided. And so we look at the privacy hotel device, and presto, it's a system that we can hack, so we can now use HackForce. We can't use crime scene yet. Here's the incident record we tracked, and here's a DB search. Now if we have a look at the incident record, we note that it happened at 20:52, and by then he was already in his chair, so it was probably quite close to 20:52 was when the incident happened and where the check-in happened. So we hack the hotel, and we have a reservation log. So we scroll down to say 2047, because 1958 has been checked out, but that's like 7 o'clock, so that's 8 o'clock, so it's a little bit too early. 21:53, that's a little bit too late. So let's say it's 2047 and it's room 303, floor 3. So now we want to cut a key. 303 for 3, so it's floor 3, room 3, so it's 303. Cut the key. It says the room is not checked out, so additional privacy details are needed. First name initial, last name initial. Now we know he says they used his ID to go in, and the person that we are looking for is Robert Noack. So make it an R and an N. I know it seems I'm blazing through this, but I have done with this already. So we have successfully cut a key for ourselves. So we can close our device and we can enter the room. And I did mean to warn you guys before this started that there is an annoying flickering thing on this, and unfortunately we can't turn this effect off. He did mention he's toned it down and added it as an option in the downloadable client. Hasn't seemed to have added it to the web client yet. So here we are in our room. I assume that's the TechNet tower, and we have some things we can look at here. We can look at the chair. Seems the victim was tied to this chair, but the rope is on the floor, so he must have managed to free himself somehow. Alright, we can look at... There's a page here that we can hack, but won't do that just yet. Oh. Okay, we need to fill in the details for the crime scene. So the victim sheet we know is Robert Noack. Occupation, we know he's a journalist. Cause of death, we don't know yet. Let's just say blunt force. Location, we are here at the Breach Inn. Approximate time of incident, we can say it's 9 o'clock. Alright, well let's have a look at the victim to see if we can figure it out. So if we have a look at the lumps on his head, the face is badly bruised, the victim is beaten savagely, but the wounds are not deadly. If we look at the blood, heavy blood loss from the head, but not enough for the victim to bleed to death. The blood is still fresh, so it's not through bleeding, it's not through contusions. Victim tried to fight back. Traces of white skin are found under the fingernails. And Techni attempted to bribe the journalist. The payment was rejected and returned. So, the white guy who works for Techni, who tried to bribe him, beat him up, but then impressed on the neck with shocking strength are the signs of 10 fingers. It seems like he got strangled to death. So, we see that the death was asphyxiation rather than contusions, so submit that, and we got all of those right. Now we need to fill in the perpetrator sheet. Okay, so the gender we want to say is male because of the strength. The race we want to say is white because of the and under the skin. We don't have the height or the age yet, so let's see if we can find any more information out. Technically attempted to bribe the journalist. Right, okay. So how do we get out of here? If we look at this, bloody footprints indicate a rushed exit. Shoe size corresponds to an individual approximately 6 foot 5 inches in height. Okay, can we make you go away, please? Ugh. Alright, so height estimated up to 6'5", so let's call it 6'7". Alright. So we are now having an issue closing this window. How do we make it go away? Okay, click on it again and make it go away. Alright, so what we do have is a hat. We have a look at the hat. Several long black hairs caught inside. So we know that his hair was long and his hair color was black. How do we get his age? Is there anything around here? I don't see anything other than, the hat's a bit dated. Well, let's have a look at the pager. So we hack the pager system. Right, so we have hey Danny, not sure you're trying to stop this investigation. All of a sudden I'm meeting my resource tonight to see where it sends us. So that's the boss man who tried to stop him. Then he said to Mary, heading out for a kick one-on-one. She'll be back for the kids and Dead. Shame, Dead was married and has kids. Informant 12 says he's in the location, overlooking the lake. Are you coming? And then we have the same message that was sent to us but damaged. They grabbed him, bag over the head, going west, Caden Tower. Must be because I started digging into Techni's fast rise. What did I do? You're calling Hugh, I told you keep quiet. Please stop, you fool, you get what you deserve. Keep quiet, you don't listen, do you? Okay, so this was the thing. So that doesn't help us figure out exactly who the perpetrator is yet. Although we have a few bits of information. We have that his editor-in-chief was trying to stop him. Oh, finally we don't have much info. Yeah, there are no other names or anything here. So that doesn't help. Let's see if there's anything in received. Unknown says you were given a fair offer, would have been wise to accept, suit yourself. That's when you rejected the bribe. Okay, informant 12 does seem to be the person. Early 30s, dressed in black, see you there. Early 30s. Some of the chief editors, more important stories out there. Anyway, dinner's getting cold. Hey, I'm getting worried, please write soon. Alright, so a little bit of pathos there. But we have early 30s as the description of the bad guy. So say 26 to 35, early 30s. Submit that. Alright, we got all the info. And we have successfully, I won't say solved the case, but we have done our job as a police officer. And then we get, I assume, a new case. Identified was okay, or just more info on the case, perhaps. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because I think you see where this was going. This is the nature of the game. So I do recommend this. The link will be in the description. Come and give it a play. There were some comments from other people who seemed to enjoy it. Detective deduction game, as it describes itself. And yeah, this is a very, very cool game. It was made in more or less 3 weeks for the Mr. Game Jam. I mean, that's pretty good quality for 3 weeks. More information. It describes itself as adventure puzzle visual novel, made in Godot. Godot's a really good engine. Some really good games came out of it. Detective mystery point and click. About half an hour. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's for the Mystery Game Jam 2025. So, yeah, if all you're looking for is the gameplay, that's it. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more Itch.io Game reviews. And don't forget to leave comments, because that benefits everyone. It benefits you, it benefits me, benefits YouTube, possibly. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't benefit them because it takes up database capacity or something. But either way, it's good for you and it's good for me because of the algorithm. But if you are here for the critique, let us pitch in, because this is a really good game, and they have, it would seem, a Steam variant of it, or at least a Steam extension, so we can afford to be a little more aggressive. Firstly, the UI, and specifically explanations. Alright, the game didn't really hold my hand going in. Let's sort of refresh this page and we can go back to the beginning. And turn the music off. It doesn't remember that setting. Alright, yeah, look, there's no real tutorial or anything like that, so I had to figure out the hard way how to do the detective stuff as far as the game treats it, but I found it fairly easy to learn what to do. I did get horribly stuck in that first mission, figuring out what it meant by incident location, because I thought that meant, where is the crime scene and not where does the crime start, as it were. But the game was very tolerant, and it didn't matter how many times I put in the wrong answer, it just made it red and let me continue. So I was more frustrated than anything else. Yeah, so the game doesn't teach you much, and it doesn't quite explain things. It would be nice if there was a hint system or something along those lines built in, just to give you a bit of help when you get horribly stuck. I don't know if that would make it too easy, but it's a thought. It would reduce frustration, I think, a bit. The UI, in terms of the feeling, everything is responsive. This flashy thing, that effect, that sort of that's really, really annoying. And as it was mentioned in the comments, this has been sort of toned down and or is turn offable in the download client, but it's super frustrating in the web client, which you can't get rid of it, and it makes my eyes cross. Do not like. Fuzzy flashy thing, no, must go away, or at least be turn offable. Look, aesthetically I like it. I don't quite understand it. Why is the detective using this thing where the screen is glitching every so often? I'm not sure about that. If it had sort of more contextual info other than woo, cool effect to show you're using something electronic, I don't know. It's cool, but it doesn't make much sense and it's annoying. So yeah, we don't like that. The sounds, the game has the music that you heard. The music was fine. I don't know if it was quite right for this. I didn't really like it while I had it on. It was just going whoom, whoom, whoom in my ears while I was trying to think. That's why I've turned it off. That and obviously for the video. Yeah, the rest of the sounds are quite nice. They're like electronic-ish sounds because you're using a device for a lot of the game. That's great. It could be fleshed out a bit more maybe, but I found the sounds fine. The art is great. This device is quite cool other than the flashy effect. Everything makes sense. You got a kind of GPS thing here. You got the newspaper. I'd have liked more newspaper and more context to this, helping out sort of ambient knowledge, but I really do like it. It's a little weird that it's a specific element on its own inside this sort of detective device, but there it is. It's fine. The game feeding, like I said, the game feeding is great. Everything is responsive. Everything is very cool. Everything seems to work correctly. I would say it's a little bit too constrained. It was like a little too obvious what I was burrowing down towards here. It would have been nice if there was like a hint device or an AI that you could ask for help. Not real AI, obviously, an NPC AI or something, like a little device in the corner that could give you its thoughts, and those would maybe guide you on the way. And then combine that with more options here. So, I mean, I suppose I'm picking up the options from these kind of things. But it would have been nice if this was like a lot bigger, if there was more newspaper with more options or other messages that were related that came in. That just gave you more stuff. to choose from. The puzzle was pretty easy, other than some arguments with the UI which I had, so it really wasn't a deep challenge. Maybe it gets harder later. Maybe I'm being too quick on it, but yeah, I didn't like that. And then I suppose the final critique is really just what's, as usual, the immersion elements. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe that gets unlocked in the story later, but again, I feel no attachment to me. I don't know what my role is in all of this, what my part of the story is. I would like to be pulled into it a bit more. Who am I? What am I using this device for? Why am I? Am I an officer? Am I a private detective? Why have I been entrusted with this law enforcement operation? I would like that more, but I think, considering it's a game jam game, I think the level of depth and thing at the moment is fantastic. I'm just hoping this expands out more to become a fully fledged game. And maybe they can even start, charging money for, because that should be where it's going. Yeah, so that's my critique so far. And one small thing, you can't actually go back to the menu anywhere, can you? It would be nice if you could go back to the starting menu and change the sound controls while you're in the game. Because I'd also like to show you that the sound controls are very, very awkward to use with the mouse. I did not like them. So yeah, check out the settings menu. It's a little bit, it needs some polish. But that's a very minor thing that I thought I just remembered at the moment. So yeah, come and play the game. Link in the description. And thank you for watching. And devs, Brain, BRANE, whoever you are, absolutely exquisite work. I hope my critiques helped. Thanks for making this great game, and I hope to see you guys and all of the rest of you in the next video. Bye.